the Hobbywing Axe R2 systems right here. 2100 kV, 540L motor, 3300 kV, 550 size motor. Now, the best thing is in the programming, they did a little work on that. Now, the ESC's got brand new specs. We're going to get into all that and the programming. Take a look. Here they are right there. The first thing we're going to look at is the 540L motor right there. So, I'm going to get this peeled out of the package, show you guys what you get, and do a little size comparison. Let's find out what that L stands for. Well, if you guessed L is for long, you are correct. Here is a 540 right here, a normal standard brush motor, and you can see it is quite a bit longer than that one, all the way out to the ends of the motor terminals on this motor right here. 550. Oh, you can see it's all the way to the size of the can. So pretty much almost a 550 right here. And what that means is the insides got a little bit more in there. So that's always a good thing. Now, the motor shaft, standard 1/8 or 3.17 millimeter, I believe it is. They changed this right here. This is a sensor wire. And as you guys know, this right here can be one of the major issues in fitting this thing. It's just kind of a pain to fit the old system. You can look at it, see if I can get these in the video here. Pretty big difference in size, both in length and everything. Now, this particular one here, it has the screw-in design. So it actually screws in with that little nut right there. This is the older 2700 kV 550. This one presses in. So that should make for a nice, easy fit in a lot more vehicles. So, yeah. Now, these are some of the most waterproof motors that I've ever used. They got rubber sealed bearings, and, you know, I kind of think they're going to be pretty darn awesome. Now, let's get into that 550. Here we are right here, the 550. They kept the large 5mm shaft. I'd kind of like to see the smaller shaft so we could get small pinions on this. You know, I mean, just my own thoughts on that. We don't really need a 5mm in most crawlers. But with the programming, which I'll show you guys here in a few minutes, actually does wonders, and you can actually drive it and bash around with it a little bit. So, now, size comparison. There's the 550. It is all the way to the ends of the tab. So, it's definitely a full size on that. Now, the older 550, let's see, here we are. So I can line this up just about right. Yeah, it's just a little bit shorter. Just a little bit. But you know, that little bit can make a difference, because fitting the other motor can be kind of a pain, which gets into one of the specs that they changed on these. Now, I have heard of and actually experienced it myself. When you get a servo to the back of the motor, you actually come up with a bit of interference on the way the encoder and all works in this thing with the rotor and all that. These have been shielded. So they took note of the issues with the old systems and corrected them with the new ones. So that's always a great thing. And now we get into the ESC. They appear to be the same size. I mean, obviously this has the fan on it. So did this one, but I didn't need it, so I just took it off. So yeah, they look to be about the same. But here's that wire right here. You can see the size comparison here as well. So, and you get some heat shrink and stuff like that. So yeah, this right here is going to be a wonderful deal. They consider this the thin one and this the thick one. So with the new R2 system, that's probably why we're not seeing many of those on the shelves right now, like A-Main and stuff like that. The programming and the boards, the internals between these two are different. The old ESC, 60 amps with 360 amps burst. The new one, 80 amps with 480 amps burst. So that's a pretty substantial increase in ESC power right there. This one had a 4 amp continuous BEC. This one has a 6 amp continuous BEC. So that's another huge improvement with the new ESC as well. Now, with the programming, which I'm going to show you guys once I get this thing powered up and all that, you'll see with this one, you can actually have the drive, a brake, and a reverse, kind of like what you would have in a basher. This one is not capable of that. So Yeah, this new one is pretty much better by specs and features in every single way. Ooh, wow. I gotta get this thing powered up and show you guys the programming. This right here is what makes this awesome. The running mode right there. That is just awesome that they were able to get this with the FOC. And here are the explanations of what everything does. So, yes, going to be awesome. Now we're looking at this part right here. It pays to read the instructions, and I would have saved about half an hour had I read this right here. Firmware upgrade with smartphone installed with a Hobbywing Link app. You can get into that right there, get the app downloaded. I could not get the ESC to actually look at the functions or any of that stuff. So this right here got one of the ESCs up and running. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did with the second ESC. On both of the ESCs that I've got, I have to connect them up just like this with the motor connected to actually update the firmware on the ESC so the app will actually work and link up and let you get to all the features and parameters. So yeah, you got to do all of this. With the ESC on and the app ready to go, they're going to log into the ESC. I've already saved the 888 password, and it tells you that. Then you click firmware update. Right there, there's a target version. Now I've already got it in there because I kind of had to practice a little more. And now we're going to click firmware update, and we're going to confirm. And now it's simply going to update it, and this is what you'll see right here. It'll go through all the parsing and then the installation, and you'll see these numbers go up. Anyways, I'm going to fast forward this part. And once you get to this screen right here, confirm it, and at this point you can actually connect to the ESC. There you go. I believe you're supposed to power it down and power it back up, but I already had the firmware in there, so let's check the parameters. Here we go. Running mode, forward and reverse. This is your crawler setup right here. This is your basher setup. Now, notice how some of these are highlighted. You cannot change them in the basher setup, or I believe they said training, you know, I guess. But in the normal running mode, you got all this stuff right here. Cut off voltage, and leave that be. RPM, throttle matching. Now, when you have it on low, you'll get a little bit more feel to the trigger. If you have it on high, it just really does its own thing. So I'm just simply going to leave it in the default position. Max forward force of 100%. Max reverse. We're just simply going to scroll this up to 75% and tap confirm. Now we're into advance. I don't mess with timing. When you advance timing on these things, you can actually mess up the bottom end. I don't really know that it'll mess this one up too much, but I know it'll create a little bit more heat, so I just simply leave it right here. Drag brake force, 80%. Look at all of that, 200%. Huh. I guess we're just going to leave it at 80 and see how that works out. Drag brake rate increase. Oh, look at that. All the way up. And it's got the auto feature. I do like the auto, so I'm going to turn that on right there. Neutral range. If you have a really high-end radio, you can turn this down and get nice and sensitive. If your radio likes to drift a lot, well, you know, you got that. For this, I'm just simply going to leave it at the 10%. Throttle rate increase. This is kind of like your punch. You know how you turn that up and level 9 is the max? We're going right for that. BEC voltage, 6 volts or 7.4. Not sure what this is going in just yet. So I'm just going to simply leave it. And this is your motor rotation. So yeah, and right here you can actually see the motor. So anyways, that is pretty much everything for that. Let's go back here to the data log. Let's take a look at this. Data record for the car. Max ESC10. This is cool. This is cool. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Castle, just a little bit. You can check your ESC temperature, motor temperature, minimum battery volts, maximum motor RPM. All right, that is that's pretty cool. What is read time? I guess we can't do anything because I don't have anything on it, right? So anyway, guys, those are the tunable parameters. So guys, hopefully I was able to show you guys these systems and get into the programming with them. They are destined for great things. I'm surrounded by a lot of great things. What these are going in, we'll just have to find out. So hopefully I was able to show you guys the programming, what to do. The firmware update thing, that was kind of odd coming from Hobbywing. When you get something right out of the box, have to update them. Perhaps because some of these are the first ones out on the market. Maybe that's why. Don't know, but you know, that was a little bit odd. But anyway, guys, hopefully I was able to help you out. Check that description for links for these right here on hobbywing.com. Hobbywing USA, Hobbywing America, I believe it is. That link will be down there, along with links from AMain, eBay, Amazon, Redcat. They are down there. They are affiliate links. Use those links to check out with whatever's in your cart, but pick up some body clips. There's links for body clips down there too. That just assures that the affiliate will actually work correctly. Guys, I can't wait to get these into some vehicles. No idea what, but hey, it's gonna be fun. Thank you all for watching. If you guys like what you see, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. If you really like what you see, consider clicking on that join button down below. With that, you can actually become a channel member. Members get early viewing of many of the videos and, you know, a little bit more personalized. Guys, thank you all for watching.